My name is David Richardson. I'm a 23-year-old government administrator. 2 years ago, I got my administrative qualification and left the company I've been working at to join the current office where I'm employed. I'm getting used to the work, and I'm generally enjoying life. But to be honest, I do have one concern. Oh, brother? Not again. Why is this place such a mess? My sister Emily visits my apartment, and she always starts with this comment, furrowing her brows and sighing deeply. Come on, I can't help it. I'm busy with work, I protest. Listen, David, I'm telling you this because I'm worried. Living in such an insanitary place, eating junk food all day, it's just too unhealthy, Emily insists. Indeed, I haven't paid attention to what I ate recently, and I've been feeling stressed living in this mess. Emily, always the responsible one, comes to my apartment almost every week, but I mess it up faster than she can clean. You're right. You're absolutely right, I concede. David, you're doing well financially now, so why not consider a housekeeping service? Emily suggests. A housekeeping service? I echo, surprised. Yes, you pay them, and a housekeeper comes to your house and does all sorts of chores, including cleaning. Even if they can't come every day, having them 2 or 3 times a week would make a huge difference, Emily explains. I hadn't even considered such a service before, but I'm not good at housework, so it's a perfect fit for me. Emily, thank you. I'll try a housekeeping service right away, I decide. That's a good idea. You can't even get a girlfriend with this mess, you know, Emily teases. At Emily's words, I blush in embarrassment. I've never had a girlfriend in my 23 years of life. Struck by her accurate guess, I blurt out a response. Well, that's none of your business, okay. With a small chuckle, Emily leaves the apartment spotless and goes home. Despite everything, I'm truly grateful to Emily. I actually have a bitter memory related to romance. That's partly why I've been hesitant to get involved in romantic relationships. During my senior year of high school, there was a girl I liked. Her name was Claire, a beautiful, kind, and intelligent classmate. We spent almost every day studying together at the private library. Back then, I was aiming for a scholarship program at college, so I devoted myself to studying. Once we finished applying to colleges, we would have more free time for each other. I planned to confess my feelings to her then. With this goal in mind, I spent my high school days. But the situation took an unexpected turn. I was chosen for a special scholarship, as planned, but I ended up declining it. It turned out that during this time, my father fell sick and could no longer work, and our family's financial situation became dire. I decided that going to college in this situation would be too difficult, so I decided to start working right after high school graduation. I was disappointed that I couldn't go to college, but I decided to move forward and turn the page. However, the situation drastically changed my relationship with Claire. I tried to head to the library with Claire as usual, but something seemed off about her. David, I heard you're giving up going to college and you're going to start working right after high school. Yay, that's actually the case, Claire said, surprised. It's the first time I'm hearing about this. I thought it would worry you, I admitted. The college where you had the recommendation slot, my best friend was aiming for that also. Honestly, when I heard that you declined a recommendation, she was also shocked. If you were going to decline it, I wish you had given that slot to her from the beginning, Claire said, her voice tinged with disappointment. I was at a loss for words after hearing this from Claire's best friend's perspective. My actions must have been inexplicable and probably shocking. CLA, I'm sorry. It's a bit complicated for me too, I stammered. Even though we spent every day together before, I knew it. Claire's eyes were filled with tears. David, I'm sorry, but I think I'll keep my distance from you from now on. I wanted to chase after Claire, but in the end, all I could do was stand there. Regardless of the reason, I had deeply hurt her with this incident, so we ended up drifting apart after graduating from high school without resolving anything. I still feel guilty for what I did to her. Just as I was reflecting on my past love like this, something unexpected happened later. I ended up promptly getting a housekeeper. When the doorbell rang, I opened the door and was taken aback. Wait, what? There she was, unmistakably, Claire. She had grown into a stunningly beautiful, fair-skinned woman. D. David is my client today. Claire was equally shocked. We were both frozen in place for a while, but we couldn't stay like this forever. I invited Claire into the living room, handed her some tea, and Claire said, "Thank you," and began to speak. Even though we ended things on such a note, I'm truly sorry for that time. I heard of the real reason why you gave up going to college from mutual friends, Claire said with a genuinely apologetic expression. I was surprised by this turn of events, as I thought she must have hated me by now. No, it's okay. Looking back, I realize I should have explained the reason more clearly, I said. But you were just trying to keep me from worrying, right? Claire replied, looking directly at me. Claire had grown even more beautiful than before, and I couldn't help but feel a bit flustered. Trying not to show my feelings, I looked away and said, "Let's let bygones be bygones. Anyway, thanks for coming today." "Thank you, David. I appreciate you saying that. In order to apologize for what I did, I want to help with whatever you need," Claire said, donning a tidy white apron with neat frills and efficiently began to clean. Being a man, there were some bucks that shouldn't be seen, but it was a good thing that I had tidied them up beforehand. Thanks to her, my messy room was transformed into a clean space in just a day. But I couldn't help wondering, why was Claire working for a cleaning service? I'm sure she had gone to college, but I don't know anything about what happened afterward. Still, I couldn't ask her about every detail of that. After Claire finished cleaning, she cooked dinner for me as part of her service. As I watched her skillfully in the kitchen, I found myself wondering if she normally cooked for someone else in this manner. She served a freshly cooked hot meal. It was so delicious that I was moved. Just after I finished eating dinner, I received a phone call from work. So I told Claire, "Thank you for today," and answered the phone in my room. The call ended up being longer than I expected, and before I knew it, almost 2 hours had passed. Thinking that Claire must have left by then, I was surprised to find her asleep at the table when I returned to the living room. I gently shook her shoulder and said, "Claire, wake up. It's already 11 o'clock. "What? It's that late already? Oh no, I have work tomorrow. If I head to the station now, I'll barely catch the last train." Seeing Claire panic with a pale face, I could tell she was really in a tight spot. "Claire, are you okay? You look really tired," I asked with concern. "Yes, my part-time job is really demanding, and to be honest, I'm maxed out. I'm sorry for overstaying. I am leaving now," Claire said as she scrambled to grab her bag. I quickly grabbed her arm. I couldn't let her go home alone in her current state. "David, what's wrong? You said earlier, Claire, that you'd do anything to apologize, right? So here's my request. Please stay over tonight." "What?" Claire's eyes widened. "I want you to cook another delicious breakfast tomorrow, and after that, you can leave." "If that's all you're asking, I'm grateful," I explained. With that, Claire took a shower and immediately fell asleep in the guest room. She must have been really tired. I returned to my room and ended the long day by falling asleep. The next morning, I woke up to find breakfast ready on the table, along with a note from Claire saying, "Thank you for yesterday." I was relieved to see that she had apparently made it to work okay. But to my surprise, Susan showed up at my apartment again that night. As she prepared dinner, she began to tell me something. "Thank you so much for yesterday. I was really tired, so it helped a lot." "No problem. You do seem pretty busy, though." "Well, the truth is I'm living in an apartment in a suburb of Denver with my mom. After high school, my parents divorced and things got tough financially. I had to drop out of college 2 years ago and have been working part-time jobs ever since to get by." "I see. That sounds hard." The suburb of Denver isn't exactly bustling. The transportation is not the best either. It must be tough to commute here. Also, my mom isn't in the best of health, so I'm trying to help her. That's why I'm studying to get a computer certification. You really are busy. Yes, but I want to repay my mom for everything. With that, Claire smiled gently. Thank you so much for everything. Sorry to have bothered you. Claire, wait. I stopped her as she was about to leave. If you don't mind, why don't you stay at my place when you come into town for work? I'd love it if you could cook for me. My apartment is in a great location with good public transportation. It might take some of the burden off of you. Honestly, I was afraid she'd be put off by my suggestion, but Claire responded with a happy smile. David, thank you so much. Okay, in return, I'll clean and cook for you. From that day forward, I started asking Claire to take care of my housework on a regular basis. I always paid her as agreed, but when she stayed over at my place, Claire cooked extra food for me. She told me that she used to get really tired from the commute alone, but now that she could stay at my place when she had jobs nearby, it had made her life much easier. Having her clean my apartment was also a great help for me. One day, my sister Emily happened to meet Claire and was surprised. Why is such a beautiful woman in your apartment, David? Emily, this person is the housekeeper. Nice to meet you. I'm Claire. Actually, I went to high school with David. Oh, nice to meet you. I'm his sister Emily. Despite my clumsy brother, I hope we get along well. Emily quickly became friends with Claire. The two of them were chatting happily, and before I knew it, they were cooking together in the kitchen. And when they ate dinner together, they kept calling each other Claire and Emily, and seemed to be having a great time. I never imagined they would become so close. Even after Emily went home, Claire seemed to be in a good mood. Emily, such a mature and cute girl. She was following you around all the time. Wasn't she a bother? Not at all. I'm an only child, so it felt like I had a little sister. It was fun. After that, Emily frequently visited my apartment to cook and sew with Claire. They always seemed to have a great time together. Watching them, I realized how much I cared for Claire. Despite telling myself that it was all in the past, my feelings for her were only growing stronger. But I knew that Claire was just being kind to me because of her job right now. Just being able to be with her makes me happy. I should be content with that. I kept telling myself that, but then an unexpected event happened. David, I have something to tell you. I'm thinking of quitting the housekeeping service soon. Why, Claire? I was taken aback by Claire's words. You know, my relatives have arranged to have a meeting with a potential suitor. He runs his own business, and it seems I could get a full-time position there if we get married. It would put my mother's mind at ease, and I've realized I can't just wander aimlessly in life. Claire chatted nonchalantly while briskly handling the housework as usual. However, she never made eye contact with me. I felt both shocked and somewhat uneasy at her words. I see. Well, I feel lonely. I responded, but I'll work my hardest until I leave. With that, Claire forced a smile and left the apartment. Even if they were not in a relationship yet, it might be awkward for her to stay over at a guy's place before the formal meeting. Despite having some of Claire's homemade food available, I didn't have the appetite to eat. Spending time in the living room in a daze, the next thing I knew, Emily had come over and was shocked to see me in a state of abandonment. Hey, what's going on with you? You're just sitting in the dark, staring into space. Well, when I explained about Claire's arranged meeting, Emily was also surprised. Oh, that's unfortunate. Seeing me crestfallen, Emily spoke up. You know, you should tell Claire how you feel. Huh. It's clear to see you love Claire, don't you? If you don't express your feelings before she's gone, you'll definitely regret it. Even if you get turned down in the end, confessing your feelings will prevent any lingering regret. After hearing Emily's words, I realized she was right. Back in high school, we had missed each other because we didn't communicate properly. I don't want to end up like that again. I want to convey to Claire just how important she is to me. I decided to request Claire's housekeeping service again and waited for her to come. When Claire visited the apartment as usual, I stood directly in front of her. "Claire, I have something to tell you." "Huh, what is it?" "I've never been this nervous in my life, but if I don't share my feelings now, I will definitely regret it." That was far scarier than getting turned down. I've always loved you, Claire. Ever since high school, that hasn't changed. Even now that we've reconnected." As I confessed, Claire was surprised and looked at me. Honestly, it felt like my face was on fire. But I had to finish. "So if it's what you want, I want you to go to the arranged meeting. But if it's not what you want, I want you to stop. All I want is for you to be happy, Claire." David. As soon as I finished talking, Claire threw her arms around me. I had dreamed that she'd respond this way, and I turned bright red. "I don't really want to go to that meeting either. I love you, David." "Claire." I gently stroked her head. Claire, wiping her tears, continued to speak. "Slowly, I was truly happy when you, David, let me stay at your house and were so kind to me. But I wondered if it was okay for me to keep relying on your kindness like that. You graduated from high school and became a government administrator, whereas I've achieved nothing. I thought there must be someone better suited for you, David, and if I keep hanging around you, it would be a burden to you." Never had I imagined Claire felt this way. We both had feelings for each other, but neither of us noticed. "But I won't repeat the mistakes we made in high school." That's not true. It's okay if it takes some time. Let's move forward slowly on the path that's best for you. Claire, your mom would want your happiness more than anything. David, thank you. And like that, we held each other tightly, feeling Claire's warmth close to me. My love for her surged anew. I didn't want to let her go ever. And so we officially started dating. Claire, fulfilling her longtime dream, got her computer certification 6 months later and started her career as a web designer. We took this opportunity to officially start living together, and Claire's mom moved into a house nearby. Now we can meet whenever we want. It's a relief. Currently, the two of us are discussing marriage. Well, to be precise, it's 3 of us. Emily is having a great time with Claire, looking at wedding catalogs. "Wow, this dress is cute too. Oh, but this one might be better." "Sounds great, Emily. Make sure you dress up for the occasion." "Of course, since it's a special occasion." "Claire, you should change outfits at least 3 times like this." The two are enthusiastically planning a wedding. Oh boy, if we incorporate all of Emily's ideas, it might cost us a fortune. But seeing the smiles on the 2 most important women in my life, I can't help but think it's worth it. How did you like it? Your subscription will be a great motivation for our production. See you in the next video.